So, like I said, we're live. The first thing we're going to do is go over the stones of the day. I always like to do this because it kind of grounds me. So let's go over the first stone. And this is this tiny little black stone right here, is black obsidian. It's a volcanic stone made after volcanoes erupt and the magma hardens, I believe. So let me flip to the page. We do know that black obsidian uh, is natural volcanic ash, glass. It's a protective stone. It's good for grounding, clarifying, used in meditation. Um, or it can be a personal talisman. So you can carry it on yourself to kind of ward off any negativity, kind of ground yourself. Yeah. So I like to keep this on my desk, especially when I'm working in here. Um, the second stone that we're going to go with is my malachite tower. And you can tell that this is a natural malachite by the green and black banding. It is a tower and a point. There's the point right there. And the point is like, so directional energy. Let me flip back to malachite. So malachite is kind of like moldavite in that it is a stone of transformation. Um, we call it the lesser stone of transformation, but it's not really that. It's a strong stone. It does have some amazing energetic properties, such as energy cleansing and self confidence. It is a emotional and spiritual healing stone. It's used for transformation. So if you're going through something, you know what's going to happen. You carry this malachite, you put it near you, you work with it, you can meditate with it, and it does work for transforming and emotional healing through releasing blockages. So it's also a protective stone against negative energy. We talk about radiation and electromagnetic current and or energy. So it does block against negative energy. It encourages personal growth through self reflection. So, there again, you have the transformation. And if you're going through something that is going to be, um, a challenge, it does help with the the work of self reflection. It blocks, like I said, electromagnetic pollution. Yay! So the next stone that we are going to work with today that I'll have on my desk, which I do have a variety of stones on my desk or nearby in this room. Um, this room is a sacred space for me. Yeah, I do computer work and such here, but it's also where I have my practice. So it is consecrated. It is energy bound. So people just don't come in here. I have to clear energy before people come in, and then reset the boundaries. Anyway, carnelian, and this is a rough carnelian, a beautiful stone. It's not polished or anything like that. So you can see it's a big chunk. It is orangish red. There's got some white in here. And the carnelian stone activates your sacral or sacral root and solar plexus chakras, chakras. Um, and this allows energy to flow from your root all the way through and up. This clears and unblocks the energy flow. Um, it is good for spiritual growth. Um, it protects against negative energies and attracts good luck. Um, it releases feelings of fear and anger. Uh, it promotes stability. It encourages self confidence. It is a stone of vitality and a stone of creativity. So it's also a stone of emotional balance. So you see, all these stones have something to do with balance, protection, energy, creativity, vitality. Um, it calms fears and anger. So carnelian is a great stone to have with you, whether you carry it as a talisman in a mojo bag, or you put it as a necklace, um, or a ring. You can carry it that way. I do have one more stone that I always have, and I haven't written anything down about it, but this is a clear or rainbow Lemurian quartz. It's a nice big chunk, and you can kind of see how beautiful it is through the light. It just shines through. Lemurian quartz is said to be the gatekeeper to the Akashic records, which is everything known about everybody from the beginning through the end. So I do keep a big chunk of quartz in my room and on my desk at all times because it is a multiplier. So it multiplies energy, it multiplies other stones, it activates. So yeah, those are the stones for today. Yes. So now we are going to get to the meat and potatoes of why this podcast is going on. So, with that in mind, first of all, let me fan myself because you know what I'm saying, I'm a little bit hot with these candles in here. This is my fan from my not my endocrinologist, my hormone doctors. It's called Avita Care in Atlanta. And if anybody's from Atlanta, y'all probably, and you're trans or queer, you probably know Avita Care. Yeah. Also, gotta keep it real. This is my trans fan, and you know how we do it. We pop off. Hey, Brandon. Hey, Robes. Um, this is my pan flag. Woo! We fly it with pride. And of course, my trans flag. I need a non binary flag. I had one, but I gave it away. Yeah, I gave it away. And I feel like I shouldn't have, but that's okay. There's a store called Patches O'Hool. And that's where I get a lot of my pins. So I've got quite a few pins coming in. And one of those pens does have, it is a they them pen. And I also got the non-binary flag pen. So that is what I will be working with then. Okay. So now that we got that out of the way, meat and potatoes. Meat and potatoes. 4 days until pre-op. Here we go, y'all. 4 days. Pre-op is November 21st. So I believe that is when is that? Thursday? November 21st. I'm sorry, no, November 24th. So it's Monday. Yes, November 24th, Monday. So it's coming up rather quickly. 21 days until surgery. And I'm ready for that. You know. Thanks, Robes. Go ahead and subscribe. Woohoo! I am definitely subscribed to you. Um, let's see. Okay, 21 days until surgery. So pre-op is basically the medical evaluation. I will get all the instructions of what I need for post-op and to what I need to get ready for surgery. So that includes medications, um, pillows, uh, foods that I can eat easily because I'm not going to be able to chew. I'm going to have sutures in my mouth. So I will be sucking on smoothies, eating like yogurts, jello, ensures, anything like that and my surgeon said, like, A week? I don't know. All y'all people who had FFS out there, facial feminization surgery, let me know because um, a week seems just a little short, to be completely honest. But yeah, pre-op, we'll take facial measurements, which we have done once, photographs, which we have done twice. I don't know if they're going to take the photographs again. Um, yeah, I don't think they're gonna do the photographs again since it was already done twice. And usually when they do the photographs, they take photographs of your face straight on and then at 45-degree angles on either side. Um, and then like one just like this, so 90 degrees, I guess. Um, da, 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 da. We will discuss goals for surgery, and what that means is what I want from the surgery, what my surgeon, thinks is realistic. I've had a CAT scan already. We've gone over it once to the point of my surgeon saying he was kind of surprised because people don't usually come at it like that, wanting to know exactly what's going on, looking at the CAT scan to see where the bones are going to be shaved, where buccal fat may be taken out, how the chin is going to be worked, stuff like that. So, er, we are going, like I said, we're going to discuss goals for surgery. We've already done the CT scan, um, specific plans for days leading up to surgery, including which meds to avoid. So I can't take things like aspirin, anything like that, because aspirin will, of course, thin the blood. We don't want to bleed out on the table. Um, and I have a bunch of medications I take because a lot of my medications are due to my bipolar disorder. I do have bipolar disorder. So I'm not really sure how that's going to work in terms of, um, in terms of stopping my medication. I actually just got out of a manic episode which lasted from March until September. And I did a lot of damage. And yeah, it was crazy. I did a lot of damage. So I'm trying to, get myself out of that. The good thing about this is that now I'm stable and have been stable since mid-September. That doesn't sound long, but it is perfect. And I'm on a medicine regimen that works for me. So I'm a little concerned about stopping this medicine regimen, which and it will depend on, of course, my surgeon and my surgical team as to how long I have to be off the medicine, and of course my psychiatrist. We will all get together and talk it out. Um, and yeah, so I also have medicine for Crohn's. I do have Crohn's disease. Um, I take, what do I take for Crohn's disease? OMG. I can't remember. It's a pill. So it is not like one of these shots anymore. Um, Let me see if I can remember. I can't even remember. I want to say Xeljan's, but that's not it. It is, oh, well, can't remember, but it's the latest medication that is a pill form. And so a lot of the medications nowadays are in the form of shots, self injections that you can take at home, um, or something like Remicade, where you have to go into an infusion office and they give you an IV and you get infused that way. So, I have various illnesses and disorders and diseases that need to be addressed um, before surgery. And we have to come up with a plan to, one, keep me stable because, of course, I don't want to go manic again. And I really don't want to go into a deep depression. Although I have heard that, after surgery, most trans women and non binary identified women or femme people will like have a little dip, and I can understand that. Having this type of surgery where it's pretty traumatic. My surgery is going to be 12 to 14 hours long. So I'll be under for a long time. Um, I'm afraid, like, the last time I was under for like 6 or 7 hours, and I woke up and it was hell. It was absolute hell. And then I passed out again. And when I woke up the second time, everything was good. So hopefully that'll be the same way. Or hopefully I can escape that whole hell thing together. All together. So let's see. Also, one of the things we'll discuss is having a support staff or a support team for like who's going to drive me to the hospital. Since it's a 12 to 14-hour surgery, I don't expect anyone to hang around at the hospital. And to be completely honest, it's going to be Egg who's going to drive me. Um, and then I believe she's gonna go and take a walk at the river, and just try and meditate and keep herself calm, come home, get everything ready that she thinks needs to be ready that hasn't been done. I will have a support team for when I am released. That support team will consist of Egg, my bestie, who I haven't named yet. I don't know if she wants me to actually say her name online yet, so I'll just hold off. Um, and hopefully, my mother and my father. Oh, mother, oh, father, that would be great. I can't be 100 on that, but we'll see. Um, and my siblings would be nice. And what I'm going to do at pre-op is I'm going to take two pictures of each of my siblings, and I'm going to be like, okay, this is what I want to look like. I want to look like a mix between them, or my mom, just to like an amalgamation. I am not expecting to come out looking like motherfucking Naomi Campbell. I'm not expecting coming out looking fleeky deaky. I am expecting to come out looking more feminine and less masculine, um, and more looking like my siblings, which is really what I want. I want to look feminine. Um, we're not gonna get into those specifics, but yes. So I do have a support team. I will need one. Um, Egg is going to take the brunt of it. She was my nurse for bottom surgery. Uh, she has been my nurse for a couple of Crohn's surgeries. I had small bowel resections, and unfortunately, I almost died twice during the small bowel resections. Um, I was in the ICU for 9 days. And not breathing on my own. And they called my family to come say goodbye, which is really scary, y'all. Like it. So let me back up. It wasn't scary for me because I was out of it, like out of it. Um, but it put Egg through the ringer, and my parents, my siblings all came. Um, it was a scary time for all of them. Scary time for me too. The surgeries went horribly wrong. Um, but that's another story for another day. Today we're talking about pre-op. One of the things that's going to happen, probably the first thing that's going to happen after we sit down and talk, is going to be the medical and health evaluation. So we'll do like a physical. maybe an EKG. I have a feeling we're going to do an EKG, which is necessary. Um, uh, Labs check vitals, so I'm sure they'll do a urinalysis, pull some blood, do blood pressure, which I have high blood pressure, so I am hoping that they're not going to really be like, I do take medicine for my high blood pressure, um, but in the interim between now and surgery, which is December 11th, I will be working my tail off to increase my cardio, to get into a little bit of shape. I not a lot because unfortunately I started a little late. I started early, and then stopped, and then picked it up again. I have stopped smoking trees, but like as far as I know, it's 3 weeks on the front side and 3 weeks on the back side. Some people say 6 weeks on the front side and 6 weeks on the back side. But according to my surgeon's notes, it's 3 weeks on the front and 3 weeks on the back. Now that was for nicotine. I don't know um, what the guidance is uh, for cannabis. So I will, of course, bring that up at pre-op. I'm going to be straight up with my doctor, and my surgeon, and my surgical team, and my anesthesiologist, because that is the one who really needs to know. My surgeon and my surgical team, okay, fine. But my anesthesiologist needs to know because they are going to be the one putting me under and watching me the whole time. So yay for anesthesiologists. Keep it up. Um, so the next step is going to be mental. And this will be conducted to confirm realistic expectations. And as I said, I've already discussed the realistic expectations. The realistic expectations are that I come out looking a little bit more feminine, like not this male persona of a face that I have, which I want to get rid of this little brow ridge right here that is so prominent on men or male identified people. Um, I'm gonna get my orbitals smashed. Bam, 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 which is gonna be fun. Um, I'm just joking. I won't feel it until I wake up. Um, I will be staying one night in the hospital, and then I'll leave the next day, which is cool. So yeah, mental, realistic expectations, emotionally prepared for surgery. So we'll discuss all of that and how I can get emotionally prepared. I already know I've been doing meditation work for a long time, so I will pick up the meditation. I have been doing it one time a day. I'm going to increase it again to 2 times a day, morning and night. Um, I've got some spiritual work to do. I'll be pulling cards. All of this is getting me ready for this surgery. Um, I've also got other stuff. I practice Ifa, so there's an important date coming up really soon that I have to also concentrate on. So yeah, the mental is going to be big. The recovery period. That is what I'm actually worried about is the pain and the recovery, how long it takes. Because FFS, facial feminization surgery, while it can take 12 to 14 hours for operating, and the pain is supposed to be the most intense in the first 3 to 4 days, it starts to fade slowly after that. I'll be left with bruising, of course, probably some numbness in various areas. I have heard that happens. I have heard and read that happens. So they will probably do a coronal incision to pull down my skin flesh and do the bone work. But I'm afraid, I've got locks and I've got a nice hairline right here, no problem. But there will be some shock. I don't know what you call it, like hair shock, or something like that, where I will lose hair right here. I've heard it grows back around the scar. Um, I think I'll be using some scar cream, silicone tape, or arnica, or something. I'm not really sure. I'll find that out at pre-op. I really wish I knew ahead of time, not before pre-op, because I just don't think between pre-op and surgery is enough time. But maybe it is. 21 days is good. Like between now and surgery is 21 days. So, um, yeah, the recovery period can take up to a year. Well, 9 months to, let's see, 9 months to about 14 months. So, under a year to a year and a half, just about, um, to get everything that was swollen to settle down. Um, any bone work, any swelling, because when I come home, I think my eyes are going to be swollen shut, and my nose, I am getting some nose work, not a lot, and I will reinforce that thought with my surgical team on pre-op day, that I don't need a lot of work done on my nose. I'm going to take off my glasses and show y'all. Sorry for my eyes, but like right in here is where I want the nose work done. I don't want anything to touch this. This is a black nose, and I like my black nose. One thing I will have is like a little upturn in this part of the nose. For people assigned male at birth, which I was, um, generally the nose tilts down. I'm not going to say everybody's, but generally people assigned male at birth, their nose tilts down. I want it up a little bit so that matches my sibling's nose. Um, of course, my septum ring will be gone, and I will have to get a new septum piercing, uh, which, after a time of healing, I will do because I love my septum. Um, Let me put my glasses back on because I can't see. Um, can't see with my glasses either. So I'm not really knowing why I'm wearing them. Maybe it's just the look. I'm so used to wearing glasses that I wear them anyway. I have to wear them to drive, but I can't see them out of them when I drive. So, it's just like I don't even know why I'm wearing them. But yeah. Um, Recovery period is going to be long. It can be painful. In terms of the hair shock loss, what's going to happen is I think the locks on the uh, top row of my head, I think me and Egg are going to cut those short, keep the locks. Um, and then when my hair grows back long enough, we're just going to crochet those puppies back in, because you can do that. Like a lot of people, no, I won't say a lot of people, but people with locks will um, will sometimes cut them, combine them, make them larger, and then crochet them back in. There are certain kind of locks called wicks, and that is definitely, if you have like a large amount of locks like I do, you would cut them, combine them, and make like, I don't know, 8 big locks, which I want, but Egg is like, nah, she does not like those. So I'm gonna stick with Egg on this one and not get the wicks. They're probably out of style by now anyway, played out. Um, the third part of the medical and health eval is the medication review. And we've already talked about that. I'm taking a lot of medication. A lot of medication. I take a lot of medication for sleep, because when I was in my manic episode, of course, I was sleeping 1 hour a night, if that. Um, Yeah, if that. So, I as a result, I am taking a lot of medication that would probably make people sleep 14 to 16 hours a night. As it is, I sleep 5 to 6 hours a night with this medication, and it's like 4 or 5 different medications. I can start naming them for you: Zolpidem, Klonopin, risperidone. Um, I do take my progesterone at night. Um, and I know I'm missing one. I know I'm missing one. But yeah. So, mm, can't remember the name of it, but it's a tiny white pill. I don't like it. I also take melatonin. So all that medication allows me to sleep 5 to 6 hours a night. Um, I wish I could sleep 8, but that just doesn't happen anymore. I recently though, I have been getting sleep during the day, which is when I get on the couch and I'll put the blanket on me, put on Gilmore Girls or Boy Meets Girl, which is a great trans movie, by the way. If you want to see a great, like, kind of indie trans movie, I don't know if it's indie, but it's a great little trans movie. You should watch it. Boy Meets Girl. It's on Hulu. Okay, so back to the regularly scheduled program. Um, let's pop now to surgical planning. So imaging, scanning, all that stuff, CT, CAT scans, we've already done that. Facial measurements, I have a feeling that we'll take some facial measurements again, looking at the CAT scan and doing facial measurements just to make sure that we are on board. The facial measurements will again happen on surgery day. So multiple times. Um, and I it'll be captured for medical records to see how it's changed. I do have when I took my CT scan, I got the disc and gave it to my surgical team. However, they're saying that the CT scan office did not send a second disc to them like they were supposed to. So I'm going to have to get my surgical team to make a copy or give me my disc back. My guess is that they want to keep the disc that has the CT scan on it of my face and neck, so that way they can have references after healing or when I start healing after surgery. Um, I will have them make a copy, so I have one too, which I think is really important. Um, the next part of surgical um, things is what I put surgical things is goals and options, open discussions about aesthetics, risks, and complications. So there can be complications. There are risks involved in this surgery, of course. When you're working on your face and your neck, which I don't know how much neck work. Well, I will have neck work because and I don't know how they got this in here, but I am having a facelift and a neck lift, and it is medically approved. I don't know how that happened. Yay for my surgical team. Really, shout out men. Shout out Shannon. Um, these two worked tirelessly for me and hard for me to get this stuff approved. So yeah, I'm getting a facelift and a neck lift, so I don't have to worry about these this double chin, triple chin, these jowls right here, you know what I'm saying? They will all be gone. Um, but yeah, so we are going to discuss goals, and like I said, my goal is to not come out looking like Naomi Campbell. Although I really would like to, that should be the highest goal. But my realistic goal is to come out looking more feminine. And I've seen my surgeon's work, and uh, he does create feminine looks. Now, do I think he is a surgeon who does hard work in terms of restructuring the face? No, I don't. Do I think he does very good work at feminizing the face? Yes, I do. So there are some surgeons who are known for um, heavy bone work. There are some surgeons who are known for very light bone work. Um, I chose a surgeon who's kind of in the middle, um, and that excites me. So the next part of surgical planning is going to be uh, post-surgery. So that is going to be, of course, the things I've said, like foods, um, things that are needed, medications that I will need, and those are like pain meds. As I understand it, there will be pain meds for a couple days, and then they're going to switch me to like over the counter, like maybe high over the counter stuff, like 800 milligram type stuff. Aspirin, not aspirin, acetaminophen. I can't really take, and I don't know how they're going to handle this, but I am not supposed to take ibuprofen because of the Crohn's disease. So um, I don't know. Like to me, Tylenol doesn't do crap. Um, but who knows? Who knows how they're gonna handle that? I am wanting pain medication. Give me Dilaudid. When I'm in the hospital, I take Dilaudid in an IV. And Egg has seen it. Dilaudid in an IV is like doing heroin. You are just like to me, it's the best feeling in the world, the best rush. It's instantaneous. My eyes roll in the back of my head, and I'm good. But anyway, Dilaudid is not something that I can take through intravenous means at home. Um, and to be completely honest, I don't think they're going to prescribe me Dilaudid. It's probably going to be some type of oxy or something like that, which I don't like at all. But I will take it. Hopefully, at pre-op, I can discuss um, pain management medication and see if we can come to some sort of agreement. Um, we'll, of course, talk about current meds. That is going to be an important thing. So I'm going to have to write down, take pictures because I need dosages, and and names of medications, and also things like the melatonin and the women's gummy that I take for it's a multivitamin, um, stuff like that. I'll have to come prepared with everything that I'm taking. Um, any known allergies, I have an allergy to Celexa and some other medications. So, of course, I will have to tell them that. Um, and now we are going on. Let's go on. Let me just pull my fan. I've got some candles going in the background. I don't know if y'all can see them. Let me see. So there they are. Oh, and this is Egg right here in a cat suit. Let me switch this back to me. Okay. So, um, here we go with some pre-op instructions. Um, Complete. So I will get a complete list of pre-op instructions, diet, um, any actions that might need to be taken in the weeks and day before surgery. That's going to be important so that I can know how to prepare. Once again, like I said, I don't like that the pre-op and the actual surgery date are so close together. Um, I have to trust in my surgical team that this length of time between pre-op and surgery is good enough. I personally would like a month or more, um, just to get ready. I know it can't be more, but I would like a month. Um, and so recovery planning. Yes, that will be next. Recovery planning, how to prepare. What am I going to need? Pillows, clean sheets, clean everything. How am I going to get to the bathroom? I'm going to have to sleep sitting up. So I have like a U shaped pillow and some wedges that are going to keep me up. Sleeping up, of course, can't lay down, can't turn over on my side because I like to sleep on my side. I flip and flop like a like a pancake. I flip and flop throughout the night. That will not be happening because I can't land on my face. I can't destroy the face right after I get the face. That's not going to work. Um, so uh, This, of course, will include the care team, my surgical team, and planning for getting home. And I've already said that getting home is going to be Egg. She is going to come pick me up. She is going to drop me off. She is going to be the one stressing for 12 to 14 hours. My parents will be holidaying somewhere and will not be in the city. So will not be in the state. They're not going to be in the city. They won't even be in the country. Let me put it to you like that. So, uh, it's just Egg, and hopefully my bestie will be able to assist Egg um, on that day um, and going forward. So the final check-in is going to be on the day of surgery. The plan may be reviewed one last time, final chance to ask questions, to look at really what is going to be done, to understand and refine some information, um, and all of that. Uh, of course, the next and one of the most important things about surgery, in my eyes, is speaking with the anesthesiologist. They are going to be the ones who are going to be watching me and pretty much keeping me alive. So I need to have being under for 12 to 14 hours seems like a really long time. My dad is a doctor, and while he is not a uh, a general surgeon or an FFS doctor, a surgical doctor like that. He is an OBGYN. So he's put some hours in operating rooms. And he understands that 12 to 14 hours in anesthesia. And anesthesia is a long time. Of course, my surgeon said he's going to take a break, and of course, like I don't expect him to be operating on me for 12 to 14 hours straight. So what he said, he's going to take a break, use the bathroom, get some food, hang out for a bit. And I'm like, cool. I would rather you hang out than like work on me that long and lose steam at like hour 7. I need you fresh and alert so that you can do the best with this mug. We want to look fleeky. We will ask about anesthesiologist, speak with anesthesia person. The last thing about pre-op instructions, we'll go over pre-op and post-op instructions, which weeks to stop or continue taking medications, what to expect on the day of the procedure, and what to expect when the procedure's over, and the first few days of being home after surgery, what the pain may feel like in terms of a rating, whether it's going to be 1 for the least amount of pain to 10, the most amount of pain. Now, I have heard from several trans people that this is one of the most painful surgeries. I have also heard from several trans people that this is not the worst surgery. I have had bottom surgery, and that was bad, not super bad. Um, like I said, I almost died twice on with my Crohn's surgeries, with my small bowel resections. So that was bad. And I was in a lot of pain. So, with Crohn's disease, I was diagnosed in 1996. Had symptoms way before that. Um, I've weighed like 150 pounds before, which for me, being 6'1" at the time, was like all skin and bones. I've had my dad carry me into the emergency room. I've had many blood transfusions, many colonoscopies. If you're a crony, then you know what is involved in that. So as a crony, I also want to make sure that, that my system is going to be okay, my digestive system, because I don't want to be constipated, um, and thereby having to strain, and hope and maybe having more pain in the face area. I don't want to have diarrhea because, I really don't want to be running to the bathroom every 5 minutes. I just need like a perfect middle, and uh, I don't know if it's going to be something like adding prednisone, which I really do not want to take. I took prednisone for 6 years straight. I was a raging monster. So, that is going to come into play. Like, what kind of medications can I take to keep me stable, to keep the Crohn's at bay? Um, yeah, yeah. So let's see if we have anything else. Okay, yeah. Next section. What to bring to pre-op. And we've gone over most of this, but I will repeat a comprehensive list of meds, supplements, and doses. Um, be prepared with any questions. So of course, I am always prepared with questions. I always come back with new questions. I always repeat questions so I can see if I'm getting the same answer, and it's a little test for me, a test for the surgeon, and a test for the surgical team. Um, Not trying to be rude, but it is my face and people have to look at it and I have to look at it. And it is the most visible part of my body. When people first meet you, I don't care what anybody says. Okay, I do care what people say, but to me, when I first meet somebody, the first thing I see is their face. It's the first thing I notice. I don't notice the girth, if they're fat or if they're skinny. Of course, I notice that, but it's not the first thing. The first thing I notice is their face. So I want a one and done. And what that means is I want one surgery, one 12 to 14-hour surgery, and hopefully no revisions. Revision in the trans world, of course, or maybe in any world, is when plastic surgery or anything like that is when, of course, something does not come out to your liking or not right at all. And you need to go in and have another surgery. I am so I I can't really afford that right now, and I know that's not gonna be necessary, until, like a year from now, if necessary at all. So I really am looking for a great result, in one shot, and hopefully I don't have to go the, revision route. I know that, I won't say a lot, but I know some of the people I have talked to have had to go through revisions. My point is, I don't want to have surgery and then continue to have surgery, and end up like plasticky or like Michael Jackson. And I hate to say that, but I don't want my nose to look like it's falling off. Um, I don't, I really would like to have one clean surgery. Um, and that is the big thing. Um, the other thing is, of course, to bring, um, on the day of pre-op, bring someone to take notes. I have asked my parents to come. I don't know if they're going to, and that's fine. I don't necessarily need them to come. I would like them to come, so they know what's going on. But I Egg to go, and of course, Egg will go. She will be the one taking notes. I will take notes too, but she's going to take the most notes. When she goes into nurse mode, she goes into nurse mode hardcore. She takes notes about every single thing. If you could have seen my bottom surgery notes, amazing, amazing, better than the nurses, in my opinion. So Yeah, that I think that's going to wrap up the pre-op this podcast. Yeah, pre-op is where it's at. You know, that is where I'm going to find out the majority of the information, and I look forward to it. Right now, I'm just kind of flying blind. I'm on Facebook and Reddit trying to talk and read people's experiences. Um, and especially with the different procedures that I'm going to have, because like I said before, FFS is not one surgery, but a set of procedures. So yes, I am going to, yeah, I'll be ready for all of those surgeries. I need to get my mind right. So the meditation, um, the, uh, the exercise, um, all of that ties into a stable mind. Taking my medication as prescribed, which I do. Um, I also have ADHD and I take Adderall, so I don't know what they're going to say about that in terms of stopping, blah, blah, blah. I'm not really sure. Um, but we will stop there. Um, the next issue of this podcast, which is OnyxRose, a journey through FFS, will be let's see, yeah, we got it right. Will be coming up in let me do this real quick. Will be coming up probably the let's see the what's it called? What is this darn thing called? The pre-op check-in will be on the 21st. I'm sorry, on the 24th. I keep on saying the 21st. Today is the 21st. It'll be on the 24th, which is this Monday coming up at 8:30. So probably this Monday around 2, I will be coming back live just to speak on the pre-op conversation and see and let y'all know how it went and what I'm going to be doing. So thanks for tuning in today. Anybody have any questions, hit me up on Substack, onyxrose9.substack.com. I'm also on YouTube at OnyxRose9. Um, you can find me on all the socials. Like, seriously, all my socials are Onyx Rose with either a 9 or a 9.5, or just Onyx Rose. Find me, look me up, keep me in your thoughts, light some candles for me. If you pray, pray for me. All that good stuff, I'm not one to, I am not, so I don't pray a lot in terms of Christianity, but I do have meditation rituals and certain sayings and prayers, what you would call a prayer, which is not really like the Christian prayer, but I do have certain things that I go through every morning uh, and evening um, that help me stay balanced. And spiritually minded set, and I believe that's important. It's going to help me keep a clear mind, not freak out so much. Because honestly, I was freaking out. I am calm right now and not really freaking out. But I think as the day gets closer, I will be a little bit on edge. I will be coming live multiple times, probably on surgery day as well. Like, we have to leave for surgery we have to be at the hospital at 6 in the morning. So, I will probably come live in the car on the way to the hospital. But my next podcast version of this podcast will be the 24th, probably around 2 o'clock. So thanks for showing up. And please check me out on the 24th. Have a great night or a great day. Bye.